If your belly is sticking out, it's not just about appearance, it's a warning sign. That fat sitting deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your organs, is called visceral fat. Unlike the fat just under your skin, visceral fat is toxic, inflammatory, and directly linked to the world's leading cause of death, cardiovascular disease. Dr. Preep Nadas, a world-renowned cardiologist who has treated more than 250,000 patients, warns that visceral fat is the silent killer of our time. But here's the good news. There are clear natural strategies to strip it away and restore health, if you understand how your body really works. Every time you eat refined carbs, sugary snacks, or processed foods, glucose floods your bloodstream. Glucose itself is toxic in high amounts, so your body quickly releases insulin, the hormone that shuttles sugar out of the blood and into your cells. That's normal. But when you snack all day, load up on hidden sugars, or depend on refined products stripped of fiber, insulin never gets a break. Over time, your body stops responding to it. That's insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is at the heart of today's health crisis. It fuels weight gain, fatty liver, diabetes, and accelerates heart disease. Even worse, insulin resistance often begins in your 20s or 30s, long before you see outward signs. In fact, Dr. Nadas points out that standard blood sugar tests often miss the problem, because glucose can look normal, while insulin levels are secretly sky high. So what's the fastest way to attack visceral fat? According to Dr. Nadas, the answer is surprisingly simple: fasting. Around 12 hours after your last meal, your body begins to draw energy from fat stores, and visceral fat is one of the first targets. Fasting also activates autophagy, the body's cellular recycling system. Old, damaged components inside your cells get broken down and reused, while new, healthy mitochondria are built. This means better energy, sharper focus, and more resilient cells. Humans were designed for cycles of feasting and fasting, but in the modern industrialized world, we only feast. Constant eating, from morning snacks to late-night treats, keeps insulin high and shuts down these natural repair systems. Fasting reawakens the biology our ancestors relied on for survival. For women, fasting works too, though pregnancy and fertility are exceptions. For most men and women, intermittent fasting is not a stress to the body. It's a return to its natural rhythm. Lifestyle choices amplify or reduce the risk of heart disease. Dr. Nadas warns that too much endurance cardio may actually harm cardiovascular health, while short bursts of intense exercise and resistance training protect it. Planks, squats, bodyweight routines, or 30-second sprints deliver more metabolic benefits than hours on a treadmill. Sleep is another critical factor. Just one night of poor sleep can make you insulin resistant the next day. Over time, this weakens metabolism, raises inflammation, and sets the stage for plaque buildup in arteries. And then there are toxins. Nearly 70% of homes harbor mold, which can damage immunity and worsen metabolic stress. Processed foods are stripped of fiber and loaded with hidden dangers like advanced glycation end products, compounds formed when foods are fried, charred, or overcooked. White rice, once considered a staple, can contain arsenic in dangerous levels. Even excess calcium supplements can backfire, contributing to arterial calcification and brittle bones when not paired with vitamin D3 and K2. Most people believe heart attacks come from plaque slowly clogging arteries. But Dr. Nadas clarifies that's not the full story. The real killer is when inflammation weakens a plaque and causes it to rupture. At that moment, a blood clot forms, blocking the artery and triggering a heart attack. That's why chronic inflammation is so deadly. Visceral fat is especially dangerous because it doesn't just sit there. It pumps out inflammatory molecules like IL-6 and TNF, poisoning your system from the inside. Your gut might seem far removed from your heart, but research shows they're deeply connected. A leaky gut allows bacterial toxins to escape into the bloodstream, driving systemic inflammation. Poor dental health and bad oral bacteria are also directly linked to heart valve disease and arterial calcification. Dr. Nadas has even diagnosed celiac disease in patients who thought they were perfectly fine, but whose silent gut issues led to premature coronary artery disease. We've all heard about good and bad cholesterol, but the truth is more nuanced. The real danger comes from small, dense, oxidized LDL particles. These particles slip into artery walls, trigger immune cells to form foam cells, and fuel plaque formation. They're damaged not just by diet, but by sugar spikes, omega-6 imbalance, toxins, and oxidative stress. Simply lowering LDL with a statin doesn't guarantee fewer heart attacks. What matters is reducing damaged LDL and tackling the root causes. Dr. Natas's advice is straightforward. Avoid processed foods, especially those stripped of fiber. Favor whole foods rich in natural fiber, vegetables, legumes, and whole fruits in moderation. Choose clean protein, grass-finished meats, wild fish, organic poultry. Limit fried or blackened foods that create advanced glycation compounds. Balance calcium with vitamins D3 and K2 for strong bones and arteries. He also notes that moderate coffee is heart protective, not because of caffeine, but because coffee naturally contains soluble fiber. Visceral fat, insulin resistance, and inflammation are not distant risks. They're active threats that begin early and progress silently, but they're not inevitable. By reintroducing fasting into daily life, prioritizing restorative sleep, exercising smartly, repairing gut health, and eliminating processed toxins, we can reverse course. Dr. Natas's career has shown him both the tragic consequences of ignoring these truths and the incredible transformations possible when patients embrace them. His message is clear: you are not powerless. Prevention starts today, with the choices you make at the table, in the gym, and in your home.
Sleep is one of the most overlooked pillars of metabolic and cardiovascular health. Many people try to improve diet and exercise yet fail to see results because without restorative sleep, the body cannot properly regulate hormones, repair tissues, or eliminate toxins. Research shows that even a single night of restricted sleep can reduce insulin sensitivity by up to 30%. This means that after staying up late, your body behaves as if it were pre-diabetic the next day, struggling to process glucose efficiently. Cortisol levels remain elevated, appetite hormones like ghrelin increase, and cravings for sugary high-calorie foods intensify. Over time, chronic sleep disruption directly contributes to visceral fat accumulation and arterial inflammation. Deep sleep, particularly the slow-wave phase, is when the brain performs its most essential cleaning process, the glymphatic system. During these hours, cerebrospinal fluid washes through brain tissue, clearing away metabolic waste such as beta-amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. At the same time, growth hormone surges, repairing muscles and connective tissue, while the immune system strengthens its defenses. Skipping this deep rest not only weakens the heart, but accelerates cognitive decline. Circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock, orchestrates every hormone and cellular function. Exposure to natural light in the morning triggers cortisol to rise naturally, preparing you for alertness. In the evening, darkness signals melatonin release, priming the body for rest and repair. Artificial light from screens, especially blue light at night, disrupts this cycle, suppresses melatonin, and confuses the body into thinking it's still daytime. This not only delays sleep, but also interferes with glucose regulation and increases nighttime blood pressure, both powerful risk factors for heart disease. Another hidden disruptor of circadian health is late-night eating. When food is consumed close to bedtime, insulin levels remain high, the digestive system remains active, and fat-burning processes are suppressed. Instead of repairing cells and mobilizing stored fat, the body is forced into digestion mode, which can impair autophagy and contribute to the buildup of visceral fat. Aligning meals with daylight hours and allowing at least 2-3 hours of fasting before bed restores metabolic harmony. The immune system is also deeply tied to sleep and metabolism. Chronic sleep deprivation leads to an overactive yet dysfunctional immune response. Inflammation markers such as C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6 rise, damaging arterial walls and destabilizing plaques. On the other hand, consistent high-quality sleep reduces systemic inflammation, strengthens defenses against infections, and lowers the risk of autoimmune flare-ups. Beyond sleep, the brain-heart connection plays a central role. The vagus nerve, which runs from the brainstem to nearly every major organ, regulates heart rate, digestion, and immune responses. High vagal tone, often measured by heart rate variability, is linked to resilience, better stress management, and reduced cardiovascular risk. Practices like deep diaphragmatic breathing, meditation, yoga, and even singing can stimulate the vagus nerve, lowering stress hormones and improving heart rhythm stability. Mental health must also be part of the conversation. Anxiety, depression, and chronic stress not only affect mood, but also create physiological changes that harm the heart. Elevated adrenaline and cortisol increase blood pressure, constrict blood vessels, and impair glucose metabolism. At the same time, many people under psychological strain adopt unhealthy coping habits such as overeating, alcohol, or late-night screen use, further compounding the damage. Treating mental health with the same seriousness as physical health is therefore critical. Interestingly, recent research has uncovered the role of the gut-brain-heart axis. The gut microbiome produces neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, which influence mood and sleep quality. A disrupted microbiome from processed food, antibiotics, or lack of fiber not only inflames the gut, but also worsens anxiety, depression, and sleep disorders. This, in turn, increases stress hormones and damages cardiovascular health. Nurturing the microbiome with fiber-rich plants, fermented foods, and probiotic diversity builds a stronger foundation for both emotional and metabolic stability. Physical recovery is another crucial factor. Many people believe that more exercise always equals better health, but without adequate recovery, intense training becomes another form of stress. Overtraining raises cortisol, weakens immunity, and promotes inflammation. The balance between activity and recovery is what creates adaptation. Sleep, hydration, stretching, sauna therapy, and even cold exposure can all support recovery, improve mitochondrial function, and strengthen the cardiovascular system. Finally, one of the most underrated yet powerful practices for long-term health is consistency. The body thrives on rhythm, sleeping, eating, and moving at regular times. Inconsistent schedules, shift work, or frequent time zone changes confuse circadian signaling, elevate stress hormones, and disrupt metabolism. Even modest improvements in consistency, going to bed at the same time, eating within an 8-10 hour window, and exercising at set intervals, can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity and heart resilience. What emerges from all of this is a unifying theme. The human body is not designed for chaos, but for rhythm, cycles, and balance. Sleep, circadian alignment, mental calm, gut health, and consistent daily habits all work together to regulate metabolism, reduce inflammation, and protect the heart. Neglecting these aspects silently erodes health, while mastering them unlocks the body's remarkable ability to repair and thrive.
Stress is often underestimated when it comes to cardiovascular health, but science now shows it plays a central role in metabolic dysfunction. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, a hormone designed to give us short bursts of energy during emergencies. But when cortisol is elevated day after day, it raises blood sugar, fuels insulin resistance, and accelerates the storage of visceral fat. In fact, many people who struggle with stubborn belly fat are not overeating junk food all the time. They are living in a state of relentless stress that keeps their bodies locked in fat storage mode. Workplace pressure, lack of recovery time, constant digital notifications, and unresolved emotional strain all push cortisol levels up. Over time, this weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and triggers inflammation throughout the body. Cortisol even interferes with appetite regulation, leading to late-night cravings and the cycle of weight gain. One of the most effective solutions is stress management practices that actively lower cortisol. Deep breathing exercises, mindfulness meditation, time in nature, and even something as simple as daily walks in sunlight can reset the nervous system. Exposure to natural light early in the day anchors your circadian rhythm, leading to better sleep and lower evening cortisol. Another overlooked factor is hormonal balance. For men, low testosterone not only reduces muscle mass but also worsens fat storage around the abdomen. For women, fluctuations in estrogen during perimenopause can increase the risk of both insulin resistance and visceral fat buildup. Supporting hormones naturally, through strength training, healthy fats like omega-3s, sufficient protein, and quality sleep, is essential to maintaining cardiovascular health. Environmental toxins also play a role. Endocrine-disrupting chemicals like BPA, phthalates, and PFAS, often called forever chemicals, are found in plastics, food packaging, and even drinking water. These compounds mimic or block natural hormones, damaging metabolism and promoting fat storage. Studies now link high exposure to these chemicals with greater waist circumference and higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Practical steps like using glass containers, avoiding plastic water bottles, filtering tap water, and choosing cleaner household products significantly reduce this toxic burden. Movement throughout the day is equally important. Too many people treat exercise as a 1-hour gym session, and then remain sedentary for the other 23 hours. This active couch potato lifestyle does little to offset metabolic stress. Short breaks every 30-60 minutes, standing up, stretching, or doing a set of squats, keep blood sugar stable, lower insulin spikes, and improve circulation. The human body was designed to move frequently, not sit in prolonged stillness. Finally, community and emotional health cannot be ignored. Research consistently shows that people with strong social connections live longer and have healthier hearts. Loneliness, on the other hand, raises stress hormones, weakens immunity, and even predicts earlier mortality. Building supportive relationships, whether through family, friends, or community groups, is as protective to your heart as exercise and diet. The lesson is clear. It's not only about what you eat or how you exercise. Stress, hormones, toxins, and lifestyle environment all shape the terrain in which heart disease develops. By reducing stress, protecting hormonal balance, moving frequently, and connecting deeply with others, you remove many of the hidden accelerants of visceral fat and cardiovascular decline.
Nutrition remains one of the most powerful tools in the fight against visceral fat and heart disease, but the key is not just what you eat, it's how your body processes it. Whole foods rich in fiber slow down glucose absorption, flattening blood sugar spikes and reducing the demand on insulin. Legumes, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and low glycemic fruits such as berries nourish the gut microbiome while protecting the heart. Fermented foods including sauerkraut, kimchi, and unsweetened yogurt help rebuild gut integrity and strengthen the barrier against toxins that fuel inflammation. Protein quality matters just as much. Ultra-processed meats, loaded with preservatives, nitrates, and unhealthy fats, promote oxidative stress and inflammation. By contrast, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised eggs, and wild-caught fish supply amino acids critical for muscle repair and mitochondrial energy production. Fish, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, sardines, mackerel, lower triglycerides, reduce arrhythmia risk, and cool inflammation inside arteries. Healthy fats are not the enemy. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, and seeds provide monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats that stabilize blood sugar and improve lipid profiles. The real culprits are industrial seed oils high in omega-6, such as soybean, corn, and sunflower oil. These oils disrupt the omega-6 to omega-3 balance and fuel the inflammatory cascade that destabilizes arterial plaques. Swapping these oils for extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil is one of the simplest yet most impactful dietary changes you can make. Another overlooked element is meal timing. Eating late at night forces the body to process food during its natural repair cycle, impairing fat metabolism and raising glucose levels. Aligning meals with daylight hours, often called circadian eating, enhances insulin sensitivity and supports better sleep quality. Even without strict fasting, simply finishing your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed helps reduce visceral fat over time. Micronutrients are equally vital. Magnesium found in nuts, seeds, and dark leafy greens improves insulin sensitivity and calms the nervous system. Potassium from bananas, sweet potatoes, and beans helps regulate blood pressure. Vitamins D3 and K2, when taken together, ensure calcium is directed into bones instead of arteries. And antioxidants from colorful fruits and vegetables protect LDL cholesterol from oxidation, reducing the very process that makes it dangerous. Hydration also plays a subtle but critical role. Even mild dehydration raises cortisol, thickens the blood, and stresses the cardiovascular system. Clean water, herbal teas, and mineral-rich broths keep circulation flowing and support the body's detox pathways. Beyond diet, building daily rituals magnifies these benefits. Morning sunlight resets circadian rhythm. Consistent sleep between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. maximizes hormonal repair. Resistance training twice per week preserves lean muscle, which itself is a metabolic shield against insulin resistance. Small daily wins repeated consistently compound into long-term protection. The exciting reality is that these lifestyle choices don't just prevent disease, they can reverse early damage. Studies show that visceral fat can shrink within weeks of dietary change and intermittent fasting. Inflammatory markers drop, arteries regain flexibility, and energy levels soar. The body has a remarkable ability to heal once we remove the constant assault of processed food, toxic oils, and chronic stress. Heart disease is often described as inevitable with age, but the truth is different. Aging does not have to mean decline. By applying these principles, you can grow older with strength, clarity, and vitality. And this is where I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried intermittent fasting? Have you noticed changes in energy or belly fat after adjusting your diet? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could inspire someone else to take the first step. If you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe, follow, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future insights on protecting your heart and transforming your health. Together, we can build a community that thrives on knowledge, action, and lasting vitality.